Welcome to This Explainer. You know, since we were kids, we've basically been programmed with this idea that nice is good. Well, today, we're diving into some incredibly fascinating insights from Dr. Aziz Gazipura's book, Not Nice, to figure out why playing the part of the nice guy or the nice girl might actually be the exact thing sabotaging the life, the relationships, and the career you really want.
Right off the bat, I want you to be totally honest with yourself. Are you a nice person? Like if I asked your friends or your coworkers, is that the word they'd use? Now, you probably think that putting everybody else first, biting your tongue to keep the peace, and just generally making sure everyone around you is happy makes you a stellar human being. It sounds like the right thing to do, right? Well, buckle up, because we are absolutely challenging that idea today. I think you're going to be pretty surprised by what we find out together.
So, here is our roadmap for breaking out of that niceness cage. We'll start with the problem with nice, then look at how it's driven by fear, not virtue. After that, it's nice versus not nice, followed by a boldness training bootcamp, and we'll wrap up with embracing high-quality discomfort.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the problem with nice, unpacking the nice persona.
You know, Dr. Aziz didn't just wake up one day and decide to hate on being nice. This actually came from 14 years of clinical experience working with thousands of people. And he noticed this wild irony. His clients who tried the absolute hardest to be the nice people were almost across the board the most anxious, guilt-ridden, and totally burned out individuals. They literally couldn't stand up for themselves, asking for what they wanted was out of the question, and the mere thought of disagreeing with someone, terrifying. They were essentially locked in a cage of their own making that kept their true selves completely hidden.
To really picture the day-to-day reality of this cage, imagine you're at a dinner party and you barely know anyone there. Now, are you fully in the moment? Are you spontaneously asking questions, joking around, just speaking freely? Or are you constantly monitoring yourself? You know that inner monologue? Was that joke too much? Does she look annoyed? Oh man, I probably shouldn't bring up that topic. The nice persona is utterly exhausting because it's like running a 24/7 surveillance operation on yourself and everybody else's reactions.
At its core, the whole concept of being nice runs on a totally busted theory. It's a broken map of human relationships. It relies on this false promise that if you just smooth everything over, eliminate absolutely all the friction, and please everybody, you're somehow guaranteed love and approval. But as Dr. Aziz points out, if you're using a faulty map, you aren't going to find the treasure, right? You're just going to get incredibly lost. This mindset basically takes a perfectly natural human desire to be liked and twists it into this desperate, energy-draining necessity.
Which brings us to Section 2, driven by fear, not virtue. The psychology of pleasing.
Growing up, we're relentlessly trained to be good little boys and girls. But all that conditioning just straps us into what the author calls a straitjacket of fear. Because here's the kicker. Niceness doesn't actually stem from high morals or some deep inner goodness. It is rooted almost entirely in a deep-seated fear of disapproval. Think about it. When you constantly stifle your true feelings just to be nice, it operates like a strict law of physics. It predictably, inevitably creates resentment. So over time, playing the nice game actually makes us secretly less loving and way more frustrated.
What's really fascinating is just how mechanical this all becomes. Nice people unconsciously run this strict mental programming, what we can call the nice algorithm. Rule 1, avoid losing approval. Rule 2, never hurt anyone's feelings. Rule 3, never ever show anger. But ironically, running this algorithm actually strips away your social power. People can intuitively sense when you're holding back or trying way too hard, or when you subtly need their validation. And that neediness, it's a total relationship repellent. It usually just leads to a long string of very polite rejections. You know the drill. Oh, let's totally hang out, but I'm just so slammed for the next, year.
Let's shift gears to Section 3, nice versus not nice, a new paradigm. Now, when you hear the phrase, not nice, your brain probably jumps straight to the worst-case scenario. You're probably thinking, wait, so I'm just supposed to be a total jerk? But being not nice doesn't mean becoming a bully. It doesn't mean shoving your grandma out of the way to get the last slice of cake. The opposite of nice is simply being real. It just means being direct, being honest, and sharing what is actually true for you in that specific moment. It's about letting people see the authentic you.
When you really stack these two mindsets up against each other, the differences are night and day. A nice person feels overly responsible for everyone else's feelings, constantly self-sacrificing just to keep the peace. But a not nice person, they operate with healthy self-interest. They know that every adult is fully responsible for their own emotional state. While a nice person will bury their opinions to avoid making waves, a not nice person freely speaks their mind because they know their perspective actually matters. It's a massive shift, trading chronic guilt for genuine, authentic connection.
Okay, let's look at how to actually do this in Section 4, Boldness Training Bootcamp, your escape plan. To rewire those deeply ingrained habits, you have to be relentless. It's a 3-step bootcamp. First, you literally have to decide to be not nice. Make the choice. Second, you actually have to do the scary stuff, like speaking up in a meeting or just saying a flat-out no to a favor. And third, you have to weather the internal backlash. This is where almost everyone fails, by the way. Your old nice programming is going to sneak up and hit you with a massive wave of guilt right after you set a boundary. You literally have to push through that psychological backlash over and over again to start building real social power.
Finally, we land on Section 5, embracing high-quality discomfort, putting it into practice.
If you really want to live authentically, you have to build up your tolerance for what Dr. Aziz calls high-quality discomfort. Things like saying no, navigating a disagreement head-on, or directly asking for what you want. That's going to feel incredibly awkward and uncomfortable at first. It's basically like going to the gym for the first time or forcing yourself to eat a giant bowl of kale. It doesn't feel amazing in the moment, but it's exactly what heals you. Building up your tolerance for this specific kind of discomfort is absolutely mandatory. Otherwise, you're just going to fold and collapse right back into your old people-pleasing routine.
But here is the amazing part. As you practice tossing out those old, fear-based rules and you actively step into that high-quality discomfort, something genuinely incredible happens. You stop draining all your energy on worry and guilt, and instead, you unlock this profound sense of freedom and actual joy in your relationships. You get to write your own rules. You finally get to be the active director of your own life, rather than just playing a supporting character in everybody else's movie.
So, I want to leave you with a question to chew on today. What would your life actually look like if you lived entirely on your own terms, zero guilt, and zero fear of disapproval? Just imagine the possibilities for your career, your friendships, and your own peace of mind if you finally walked out of that cage of niceness. What would you ask for? Who would you become? I highly recommend grabbing Dr. Aziz Gazipura's book to kick off your own boldness bootcamp. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and hey, I challenge you to go out there today and practice being just a little less nice and a whole lot more real.